questions, but there are also some very good ones. Let me start with the light ones. So, is gang violence a result of mental health issues?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it kind of is. I mean, it's a response to trauma. I mean, yeah, people shoot people in the middle of the day. I think you might be traumatized, but you done blocked out the reality that this is it's a neighborhood.
So, are you saying like Nipsey Hussle had mental health issues?
Possibly. I don't know him personally, so.
I'm just saying, just by him being in the gang.
Yeah, somewhat. Trauma from not feeling wanted at home could force young boys to join a neighborhood gang.
Yeah, think about what you
say.
say.
Young men.
Yeah. My favorite rapper.
No, I said
No.
I'm just saying. Yeah.
So what do y'all think?
I don't think I would say it's a result of mental health. I mean, because it's kind of like, when we talk about different kind of languages and things in Africa, those places in Africa don't necessarily call them by those things. Here, you look at a gang, everybody's calling it a gang now, but what it is an attempt to create community, or at least to be a part of one.
Okay, so this is outside of the mental health question, but have you ever seen a positive gang in the United States?
So what is a gang?
I'm talking the gangs I'm speaking about: the Crips, the Bloods, the GDs, the folks.
So community restoration in progress. The goal of that is to protect one's community. Is that a bad thing?
That hasn't been the result of it.
Has it not?
No.
Now, I would say this. I don't think that protection, as far as that community versus those who are coming in, which is why we have gentrification, I don't think that protection element has gone to where it needs to go, because a lot of the conflict is within that particular community. But if that enforcement on that end was taken to the appropriate level, I don't think you would see gentrification happen in those communities.
So I think that I think it's important. That's why I think it's important for a father to be in the home. But I think the father is in charge of protecting the home. Mm-hmm. It shouldn't be no outside sources. It should be the dad. Mm-hmm. Like I'm willing to lay my life down on the line for my family. So with that being said, I don't need a gang to protect me. And in my community where I grew up, gangs have caused nothing but chaos in my neighborhood.
What's that movie that was just out about the lady that was passing? It was a Tyler Perry movie.
Man.
Well, there's this Tyler Perry movie that's out about this lady that was passing.
Yeah.
And there's a point in the movie where it's found out that her black lover, they have reconnected. He immediately posse'd up every white man in the town, went to go find him and kill him, hang him.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things where that's a part of one of the issues that contribute to males' challenges with mental health as it relates to black males. We try to do this all alone. And when we look on the other side, not that I'm even trying to attain the same thing as them in that perspective, but when you look at how they approach situations, they don't approach them individually. You see what I'm saying? And because they don't approach those things individually, they are in a different position.
Yeah.
As opposed to us taking everything on by ourselves.
Let me ask this real quick. Do you think gangs do a good job of taking care of the neighborhood?
No, not now.
I
Because
get
there's
what
gentrification.
Yeah.
And when we think about those kind of neighborhoods, they're just where people live. That thing, it doesn't happen all the time. Bad things happen, at higher rates in those particular environments. But it's one of those, there are people trying to figure out how to make it through everyday life, like everybody else. But because of, several things primarily related to education and what they get in certain education environments, that population is the one that's most often, taken advantage of and seen as an opportunity for others. And that's one of those things that it does supersede their ability, but if they apply the appropriate force, I don't think that would I don't think what's happening will happen now.
Amazing. So what about you, V Nice or Miss King? Is gang violence a mental health issue?
Is it a mental health issue? I thought
Yeah.
I thought initially you said was it the cause? Was gang violence a cause of mental health?
No, my paper says is gang violence
Oh,
a
my
mental
bad.
health issue.
I'm glad you repeated that. I had a whole nother difference.
No. Is it a mental health issue? And again, I also think as mental health as trauma induced. So I feel like any mental health issue has been caused by trauma. So the question really should be, is gang violence a result of trauma? But I also think that mental health is a result of trauma. So
Is gang violence, say it again for me.
a result of mental health issues. And again, gang violence.
Because it is some camaraderie there. It is. You can learn some things from gang culture. I've learned a lot.
Not me, but let's be nice. I can't learn nothing from it. But
I think that it can be. You know, I was going off or listening to what it was that both of you guys were saying. You know, it was for like the protection, but then, you know, you're making the statement that, you know, you believe that the man is there for the protection, right? And, you know, I can accept that, but at the same time, it's like, okay, well, why isn't the man there for the protection? You know what I'm saying?
That's a
Like the
different
man
story.
got removed. Within our communities, the man got removed, has been stripped away from the black family. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, yeah, that's beautiful, you know, for you, might be beautiful for me as well, because my dad was in the household, but, you know, what about for those particular individuals that didn't have, that their father got stripped from them?
But isn't that like traumatic?
It's traumatic, but was that the gang that was the traumatic?
No,
I think that the gang,
upbringing.
the upbringing is traumatic, yeah. But I think that that's more of a correlation than like a cause.
Okay.
Like the gang violence was more so like the correlation, like that happened more so like at the same time, but the actual cause of it was the removal of the men from the household.
Okay. Amazing.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, if there's trauma in the household, if there's an absentee father, you know, they live in a poor community, and a child is looking for something that they're not getting in the home, you know, they may go out in the streets looking for that, or anger, or they may become bullying. I don't know if you're gonna talk about that, but they may become bullies in school because of the trauma.
And we can definitely touch on bullying. I think bullying is good and bad. I think it's bittersweet.
It's good and bad.
Yeah, it's good and bad.
Expound.
I would never tell my kids to bully, but I'm happy I got bullied for a short amount of time in my life that I did. It taught me how to handle adverse situations. But there's levels to bullying where it's like, you just need to stop. This is extreme. You know, but I think like simple bullying, like, you know, a little pushing.
Amongst friends, you know,
Yeah.
rough them up a little bit.
It's like
It's soft.
a little name calling. I don't think it's too bad. I do think it builds a little character. You know, even people saying jokes to people, it's like, them are just words. Those shouldn't affect you. Like I teach my kids, like words are just words. They're things that people made up and say, this means that. Like, who decided that the B word means the B word? And why did they say it has to hurt your feelings? Like,
Well, I have you know it came from a magical book locked away by the ancient Egyptians from the Kemet tribe. And this is all before Jesus Christ. And as a result, they had this secret book of curse words that no one could say. And once the Europeans got a hold of it, they unleashed it into the masses. That's something.
okay, he just talking. Yeah, so
I was about to ask, what is this book? Because I need to read the book, because I am ignorant to that.
Hey, y'all was with me though. Y'all kept me going.
they like, whoa, it's deep. No, but I truly think that just a little splash of bullying is good. I think it builds a little character. I think it teaches kids how to handle adverse situations. But I do think there's a stopping point. If everybody went to life not ever getting bullied, and they just like, oh, life is supposed to be peaches and daisies, it's like when you run into those tough situations, how are you going to handle them? Like, how are you gonna overcome those situations? And it's just unrealistic to think that you're gonna go through life without any type of bullying. So I feel like you should face them on. You should face them head on, especially at a young age, because that's gonna be the most minor bullying. When you get older, you're gonna be like, oh, this is some real bullying. So, like, okay, so this is another question I have for y'all. If y'all are not aware, do y'all know who Lil Boosie is? He's really popular at Langston parties. What's up, Chris McCain?
Sandwich with the wrong side of the bread. Thought I made it by a landslide, but instead I'm still hungover. Sometimes I make the wrong phone call after dark. Sometimes I make the wrong turn, then I have to pause. I know exactly how this ends.